Hey guys, it's Drew from FudgeMuppet here, and today I'm going to tell you why I'm seriously concerned about The Elder Scrolls 6, and why microtransactions could kill the game before it even releases. If you're at all familiar with the content FudgeMuppet makes, it won't come as much of a surprise to hear me say that we can't wait for The Elder Scrolls 6. But as time passes, and we see business practices in the gaming industry change, I can't help but worry. I'm worried that Bethesda, a once beloved company, will never manage to produce an RPG that lives up to the glories of their past releases. You've probably heard the whole shtick about why microtransactions suck a million times before, but what I'm going to say in this video hasn't been said before, and I think it needs to be said. The games industry has exploited consumers so severely in the past few years that I genuinely think we're all experiencing some serious Stockholm Syndrome. I may be exaggerating, but to me, it feels like we're being held captive inside the basement of the games industry, and we're praising developers when they're kind enough to give us some water and a slice of bread. The water's probably above room temperature, and don't doubt that it's the crust slice at the end of the loaf. That was very kind of them to give us some water, the masses cry, while I and many more of you are thinking, well, hold on a second, if you hadn't kidnapped me, I'd have all the water I could possibly want coming out of my kitchen tap. And only degenerates eat the crusty slices. Of course, I don't think Todd Howard intends to break us down mentally, and I might be overplaying just how oppressed we are. But my point is, game companies have gotten away with so much shit for so long that when we finally push back, it's simply not enough. They took a mile and we pushed them back an inch. In an industry where loot boxes give countless kids crippling gambling addictions, and full-price AAA games offer pay-to-win elements, XP boosts, and the ability to do the f***ing Macarena in-game, players rejoice when a company claims that their microtransactions will be limited to cosmetics only. But hold on a minute, once upon a time, cosmetic microtransactions were laughed at. When Bethesda tried to shove horse armor down our throats, a meme was born from it, and a lesson was learned. Fast forward to Fallout 76, and we get comments like this from Pete Hines, Bethesda's head marketer. If you don't want to spend money in the atomic shop for cosmetic stuff, you don't have to. We give you a shit of atoms just for playing the game. Folks that want to spend money on whatever the hell it is because they don't have enough atoms, they can, but it's not I'm now better playing against other players because I spent money. It's not pay to win, and it's not loot crates. Now, let's ignore the fact that they've gone back on their word here and released repair kits in the atomic shop, which are quite clearly not cosmetic, and let's stick to the point. Why is this a selling point? Why are cosmetic microtransactions okay in a fully priced retail game? I was pleased to see the community fight back against the Creation Club when it launched, but I still think the Stockholm Syndrome is setting in. As compared to companies like EA, Bethesda are still our golden boys. But that's the big problem. You see, it's not loot boxes in multiplayer games that worry me. It's not flossing on the bleeding out corpse of your enemy that irks me. It's cosmetic microtransactions specifically in RPGs that scare me. And here's why it should scare you too. While almost every other game coming out recently is embroiled in controversy surrounding microtransactions, our little community of RPG lovers has been able to hide from the figurative fallout by sticking to games like Skyrim, Oblivion, New Vegas, The Witcher, etc, etc. Games of yesteryear like these were not without their flaws, but the quality shines through, as proven by the fact that we still love them so many years after launch. But it's been over 7 years since Skyrim. We're ready for something new. And when it comes, do you think it'll be safe from microtransactions? We've seen how far the Fallout franchise has fallen, and I don't think the Elder Scrolls will be immune. So let's say Elder Scrolls 6 is announced, and the heroes at Bethesda tell us, don't worry, the microtransactions will be cosmetic only. Many fans will deal with it, but I think it will ruin the game completely. I remember talking about this with Scott and Michael, and I explained why cosmetics scare me the most. I told the story about my favourite memory from playing Fallout 4. I had been wandering the wasteland all day, and just as dusk settled on the horizon, warning me of the impending darkness, I sought shelter inside an old abandoned parking lot. There were no red dots on my HUD. I thought myself safe from danger, The parking lot was called the Milton Parking Garage. The last of the amber sun rays revealed an arrow, painted crudely on the wooden board opposite the door. This was no parking lot, it was a maze. Immediately ahead, the mood was set by the sight of a severed head, illuminated blood red by a fallen exit sign. This wasn't a refuge, and so I kept my gun loaded as I proceeded. Around every corner, mannequins stared at me with dead eyes, and numbered buttons were spread out, like some kind of game show. More severed heads, impaled on road spikes, their lifeless bodies propped up beside them. Honestly, at this point, nothing else in the game had come close to creeping me out this much. There were traps everywhere, monkeys clapping cymbals, turrets in trolleys beneath a Christmas tree, bathroom scales acting as landmines, hand grenades hanging from the ceiling, yet not a foe in sight, only corpses and writing on the walls. Finally, after picking the right door, navigating the deadly traps, and wading past nests of barbed wire, I found my prize. A unique Hot Rodder magazine permanently unlocking the hot pink paint job for my power armor. Despite being shamelessly terrified by my experience, I couldn't help but laugh at the juxtaposition. All of those horrors, and I come out the other end with my power armor looking fabulous. The reward served as a nice reminder for the journey. I braved that traumatizing maze, crafted by some deranged psycho, to look this damn cute. And that memory is exactly why I don't want cosmetic microtransactions in my RPGs. With the Creation Club, I won't get to make those memories. Why not? Because Bethesda will just slap the hot pink armor paint job behind 1,000 fucking atoms. What'll it be in the Elder Scrolls 6? Mundus money? Tamriel bucks? Nern coin? Or will it simply be as soulless as Creation Club credits? I'm sorry, but I just don't buy the argument that cosmetics don't detract from the gameplay experience. It's the exact opposite. The gameplay loop for RPGs is this: get quest, complete quest, get cool reward. And if you're just exploring, the thing that makes it worthwhile is wondering what treasures lie out there on the horizon. What will I find in that cave? Is there buried treasure at the bottom of the ocean? If so, maybe I'll spec into alchemy and brew some water-breathing potions. Or maybe I'll take what I want from the bandit chief by becoming the greatest warrior in Tamriel. What's the point in exploring a rich and detailed world if there's nothing to find? Everything good is right here in the digital store. Just pause the game and find the shop in the menu. They're actively encouraging you to pause the game to get the best loot. It's so upsetting that anyone would dream of defending this. I know it's easy to pick on Fallout 76, but it's not a coincidence that I was bored to death by that game within the first hour. In fact, being bored to death is one of the only ways to die, seeing as other players can't possibly hurt you in that broken mess. It's so broken that I won't even go into the game to get footage for this video, I'm just going to use screenshots. I know there's a million other reasons why Fallout 76 sucked, but even without NPCs, proper factions, and meaningful quests, I would usually play any open world game simply out of a love for exploration. I spent hundreds of hours sailing and riding around in The Witcher 3 before I even bothered to play the main quest, and I found so many awesome swords and armor sets. I don't want to explore to acquire currency, I want to explore to find secrets and treasures. And this is why cosmetic microtransactions are the worst of the lot for RPGs. They fundamentally oppose the core gameplay loop. Players may not initially notice a lack of content in their RPGs, and think that microtransactions are good because they add new content. But the truth is, for every cosmetic microtransaction you see in the store, there's a piece of gear you don't get to find naturally in the game. It's a piece of content stripped from the experience, and it explains why we get bored of new games so quickly, and find ourselves returning to our old favourites. I find it funny when gamers are called entitled. It's a funny meme, and sometimes we do go over the top. For example, while I love Steam, I'm not personally going to scream at Obsidian for putting the Outer Worlds on the Epic Games Store. Steam's 30% cut is pretty extortionate, and Epic have enough V-Bucks at their disposal to lure anyone they want onto their battle bus. But the term entitled gamer is an easy way to shut down consumers. How are you entitled for holding game developers and publishers accountable? If not for entitled gamers, everything that can be monetized will be monetized. I could rabble on for days about what bothers me in the gaming industry, but I'd rather keep it short. I rarely see gamers fight back against cosmetics, and I thought it might do some good to share my opinion on them. At the end of the day, I don't have much hope for most game genres, but RPGs are still alive, and The Elder Scrolls doesn't need to die a shameful death like our beloved Fallout did. We should mourn for Vault Boy, but we shouldn't let him die in vain. While The Elder Scrolls 6 is still in development, the previous entries to the series are watching from their eternally glorious afterlives in Aetherius. Skyrim's ancestors are smiling, but will The Elder Scrolls 6 be able to say the same? And there you have it, guys. A little rant about why cosmetic microtransactions kill RPGs. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a little different from the usual content, but I'm interested to hear what you all think. More lore videos are in the works as you're hearing this, as I will likely be plunging into the depths of Oblivion, researching the secrets of the mighty Jiggalag. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Once again, I've been Drew, and I'll see you next time.